Now the next important here is string. Okay, when we're talking about all of the data types in string, we'll talk about two data types in string. The first one is varchar, the most important one, and the next one is char. Okay, so these are the two important data types. There are other data types too, like text, blob, and all sorts of data types. Okay, so let's talk about text also. So the reason why I talk about only the things which are relevant or important, because this is where the whole uh, you know your complete what I say programming depends on these. So 80% of the time you will be using only these, hence I only discuss about these things. Hey Kalpana, I know how do I start this. You cannot talk, I can only talk. So if you want to talk to me, you can use the chat box here. So that's what I can say. We're talking about the MySQL data types. So if you want to catch up with me, you can catch up after the class. I can talk to you after the class. But meanwhile, yeah, I don't know how much you get out of this class. Okay, so happy learning. I'm sorry about that. Okay, great. So yeah, uh, we're talking about data types. We just finished the integer types. Now we're talking about the character types. So these are the things which are really useful, and these are the types which we'll be using the most of the times. That's the reason we'll be talking about these. So varchar is used to store string. Okay, the length of this will be 0 to it goes on to 1600. So most common you'll be seeing this or this. So they say length 255. That means when I say length 255, that means it can withhold 255 characters. Okay, that means it can withhold 255 characters. Now the same thing, when I say 255 or 500 size, it also accumulates. It can store that much amount of data. So for text there is no length. You can it has some certain amount of limit on that, so you can put any much of content into it. So text. So char and varchar has the same purpose. Now what's the difference here? Does anyone know the difference between char and varchar? Uh-huh, great. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Varchar takes numbers and cars. Char use total 255. 250 characters can just depend on usage, memory utilization. Fantastic. So Kavita has a beautiful answer here. So varchar numbers plus cars, no. So the right answer is given by Kavita. So varchar, the whole purpose, the naming itself says it's a variable length. Okay, it's a memory utilization. So the memory used by varchar and char is different. So how do we say? So now suppose for instance I say char 10. Okay, I have declared the data type as char and the length as 10. Now if I store, okay, Sagar, my name is Sagar. Okay, if I store Sagar, it still takes 10. It still takes 10 size. Like for instance, let me draw this as a container. So I'll be drawing here. Let's say this container. So in this container, I'll say Sagar. So this container is our char declared as length 10. Okay, so Sagar is 5 words, 5 characters. I'm sorry. So ideally it should use only 5 bytes, or yeah, 5 bytes, right? So one char is 1 byte, so it should ideally use 1 byte. I don't know, it's not 1 byte, maybe bits, yeah. So yeah, let's assume, okay, so this is, so the rest of the 5 is wasted, whereas in varchar, okay, so this is about char. Now I say varchar 10 and I insert sagar. I store sagar inside that. Now what happens is the scenario now changes. The scenario is something like this. So it does not occupy the whole 10, its variable length. Instead what it does is it occupies the 6 bytes. Alright, it occupies 6 bytes. So now you guys know the difference between varchar and char. So this is again an important interview question. People will ask you like, hey, what's the difference between varchar and char? So the simple answer is varchar is of variable memory, whereas char is of fixed memory. So char takes the memory as soon as it is initialized, or it is declared, or as soon as the table is created. If you say char 10, it puts itself 10 bytes of data, and it does not care about what kind of data, the length of the data it's taking in. Whereas varchar, okay, it assumes, okay, the maximum is 10 here, but whenever somebody inserts something which is less than 10, always use plus 1 bytes to store it. Remember, plus 1. So this whole is 10, right? But this slot is 6. Any questions here? Yeah, go ahead. Okay, plus 1 byte. So it's a what you call functionality of varchar. So now how many characters are there in this? How many characters are there in this? 5, right? My name 5. It's only 5. Okay. So uh, let's finish Raj's question. Kavita. Okay. Only chars or numbers. Right. Right. I understand your question. So now, to answer your question, I'll post another question to you. Dollar name equal to Sagar 2, I say. So now what is this? What is the type of variable here? What's the type of variable here? Guys, I hope this is your question. So, string, right? So whenever you insert characters and numbers into varchar, okay, what does it become? When you insert numbers into varchar, it becomes a string. So was that your question, Rajesh? Okay, so your question is, can I store numbers in varchar? Yes. Then the next question is, can you store string into integer? Yes. Can I store a string into integer type? This is my question. No, no, no. Great, fantastic, great. This is really cool. You guys are getting it, fantastic. Now this is a tricky question. Okay, now you know char and varchar, right? So when to use what? When to use what? Now you guys tell me. Where to use what? Where do I use varchar? Where do I use char? Don't you can give me examples, or you can give me situations. Yes, Kalpana, you can answer too. No problem. And Ankush, you're silent man today. You're not making any noise today. You're reading? Mm-hmm. If you know previously the length may be fixed, you can use char. Fantastic. So I'm asking a question here. Okay. Let me phrase that question here. So I'll just separate this. This is a question. When do you use varchar? When do you use char? Give me an example too. So which ones will be fixed? As per Kavita. Kavita, you said okay, the answer is fantastic, the answer is right. But which will be fixed? Which things will be fixed? In your day-to-day life, let's say. Yeah, Ankush, are you studying? I guess so. All the best for your exams, man. Do really well. Yes. Guys, come on. This is a question you're not answering. And the class will be done. Tomorrow will be see varchar, name of students. Fantastic. Great. The next what? Where do you scar then? Where do you scar? Ah, fantastic. Great. Good job. Departments. Right. Departments. Which ones will be fixed? Your institute name. Suppose your institute name will always be fixed, right? Your institute name. Your department name is always fixed. So some things which are really, you know, that these things never change, these things are fixed. You can say countries. Exactly, that's what we are talking about, Fugale. Like, when something is not fixed, we use varchar. When something is fixed, char. Now where does the big difference come? Some people use varchar in place of char, so feeling like okay, there's nothing wrong in using it. Where does the difference come? Any idea? Okay, the next question, right? I hope you guys. Suppose you can use. I mean, when I mean to say where it can, that means the data is fixed. The data's length is fixed. The characters length are fixed. Still, can you use varchar? Okay, I'll leave that question to you guys.